And I will also play some music. Okay. So last we left off, you guys met up with Mr. Maxson Price. You, upon seeing that it turns out he had turned himself into a giant clockwork dragon, like, maybe we should think about this a little more before we walk in guns blazing. So you retreated back to the house, did some horrific experiments, horrific for one of you to witness anyway, and called the brain back to you guys. You have yet to come up with a name for it yet, so I'm still just gonna refer to it as the brain. And you also found that Sniv had gotten into the building and was kind of just doing his own thing. And when you guys decided to go back to confront Maxson Price, you told Sniv to, quote, make weapons, and then left him to his own devices. And then you left the brain in the room with the door and the Shadow Maker. And then just walked right in and were immediately met with a stream of flaming oil. You guys were able to defeat Maxson Price. And interestingly enough, he exploded when he died, but then he reformed and then just disappeared. So that's healthy and normal. And guys, we're not quite sure about the health of this demi-plane that you guys found yourselves in, through which Maxson Price seemed to be funneling steam to help power his factory, and made a quick retreat. And that's where we find ourselves now. Do you leave the Shadow Maker on?
Definitely, I think turn it off.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, did Demir want to go back through it real quick?
Yeah, I want to go back through it real quick because I forgot Demir has magic eyes now. Can I go okay, actually, question, did we ever do detect magic while we were in Maxson plane? Like, is he magical? Did we determine that?
You didn't.
Okay. We didn't. No, she wouldn't think of it. This is me metagaming, so no. Okay. I'm not going to check in then. Sorry.
That's right. We didn't loot after the boss fight.
There was nothing to loot. I mean, unless we want to go back in there.
Aaron grabs one of the healing robots on the way out. Yeah, there's none.
You wanted to grab one of the welding robots?
I don't think he would. I think it would be funny, but I don't think he'd think to.
So what are you guys doing?
Well, should we can we take the Shadow Maker with us? Is there can I, looking at it, it's shaped like a cannon, but does it need to be can we is it like there is what I'm thinking is can we move this easily without all of us having to push the cannon around? Is there a way to take it apart so that it is movable?
roll an investigation or arcana check.
Okay. Me, I, let's do that. That's an 11.
Not really. You were kind of hoping that there was a way to shrink it down or fold it up somehow, but there doesn't seem to be anything like that. It seems to be a cannon. And you were able to get into the elevator just fine, but there's a fair amount of stairs in the factory, and it would be a pain in the ass.
Well, we're upstairs, so we can just push it down the stairs.
That is true.
Who gives a shit?
Does it have to be in here to work and to access his space? Like, if we were to move it outside and shine it through a doorway, will we get into the demi-plane, or?
So we're taking the cannon and the door with us now?
I mean, I think we can just take the cannon and point it at any old doorway, right?
So, for the sake of clarification, before you get into too deep for this, I'm going to drag you guys back onto the map on roll 20 very quickly to the factory floor. So these stairs are more like they go up and then they go down. They're sort of like a bridge above the conveyor belt. These ones just go down, assuming that you're in this room here. So this would require pushing them upstairs and then down.
Conveyor
again.
belt.
There is the conveyor belt. Is the conveyor belt? It's not running anymore.
No, and looking at it, it's probably not strong enough to hold something as heavy as the cannon itself.
Fuck it. Does anyone have enlarged person?
I don't think I prepared it.
Could we shove it into the bag of holding?
It's a cannon.
No, it's not going to fit.
You're not going to break my bag of holding for this.
Wait a second. The goddamn factory is just freestanding, right?
What do you mean? Freestanding.
Like in the middle of a field, not built into a wall.
It is freestanding, yes. There was Maxson Price's house, the factory, and then third thing a little bit closer to the fence that's surrounding the whole thing.
Well, in that case, since we're going to be, leveling the factory so no information from it gets out, we could just put the goddamn cannon through a wall.
Aren't we underground right now in this area?
Well,
we have to take it upstairs.
Yeah, roll it onto the elevator, take it up, and then through the wall.
Why don't
we
just
can
break it?
Yeah, I mean, we could just break it. I was just thinking it might be a good thing to keep an eye on a demi-plane that is home to a dragon that may or may not be dead.
And /or money.
And/or money.
Or we break the cannon, and it could potentially be one of very few ways in and out of the demi-plane, and it's trapped there forever.
If it's
Either way, it can't exactly exit from Maxson can't exactly exit from their side, and I don't think they were keen on leaving. Question there is we don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he'd reappear inside that plane or if he's been transported somewhere else.
Let's break it and leave it.
I
Right.
have no problem with that.
So
Should I?
Money.
I mean, we can look. Do we want to look through Maxson Price's demi-plane before we destroy it?
I'm not sure if there's anything of value in there.
Is it worth the risk of him possibly coming back while we're in there searching?
If he does come back, it'd be good to know he's still in there.
Make sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Fair point.
At the very least, we might try and rough things up inside, see if we can disrupt whatever is bringing steam from in there to out here. So it can't happen again.
Well, I'm fine going in first. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
okay.
We should.
I guess the second question is, do we want to do it now or do we want to wait until we've rested?
I'd be interested in testing and seeing if it is the shadow of the doorway that triggers the creation of the doorway, or if it's just shining the light on any wall with a shadow would have that same effect.
Well, my guess is since the door's custom, right? DM.
custom, how do you mean?
It has runes and shit on it.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing since the door's custom that it's a 2-object system. So who knows what the Shadow Maker will do when shined on not this door.
Shine it on somebody, I guess, but
It could do nothing.
Maybe we'll end up inside of them.
Please don't tell me we're going to have a magic school bus episode.
considering the scorch marks, I think it'll just be like ash of a human form on the wall afterwards because they'll burn up.
It's like sitting in front of the
There weren't so much
TV.
scorch marks as there was dust all over everything. If it were more scorching, you feel like you would have found more scorched papers among what Demir just kind of shoved into the bag of holding without looking at.
All right, let's carry this out. What do we got to do first? Light it up.
I'm willing to stick my head back in there to see if Price Boy is still there or if we can quickly dismantle his workshop.
All right, so let's line up the cannon again and create the doorway.
All right.
I wish to cast Shield of Faith on myself
Cool.
and ready a dodge action as I go through the door.
I was gonna say, are you going for a more stealthy approach this time, or are you just gonna be like, "Here I am"?
Here I am. No,
Well, I mean-
I would like to fail my stealth check, please.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to also go with Valkyria to peek in.
Well,
Although I'm fairly.
too bad I have disadvantage because I rolled a 20 on one of them. The other one was a
Oh.
5. So
Oh.
math is, where's stealth? That's
Math
a
is
6.
Okay, 6.
Well-
Demir, are you stealthing?
Yes. I rolled a 5 as well, but that's a 11 for me.
Okay. So you guys feel very, very confident in your ability to not be seen as you open the door. All right, let me get you over to the correct map, which is what I was trying to click when it decided I was actually not going to have music anymore. I mean, yeah, you peek in, really seeing anything.
So we're not murdered on sight like last time?
Nope.
Okay, Demir, do your thing.
Yeah, I'm going to look around and like kind of in the theme, it's like irritating and in her eyes, obviously. And the more like she kind of rubs it and like blinks away, the more she's realizing that there are like little specks of magic, and I'm casting detect magic to look through the room.
So let's see. You're getting a variety of different magical auras. You're like primarily from the pipes and water and stuff down below. You're getting various forms of conjuration and transmutation. And like a couple of the tools hanging from the chains above are giving off evocation vibes, but you kind of get the impression that's more for the protection of whoever's doing the smithing. There's not really much in here.
Really? Okay. And there's not really any like connecting pipes or anything that we can see that would be obviously like connecting to where the factory is.
I mean, there's, as I said, down below, it's all sorts of pipes and hot water and steam.
Okay.
But it's a little far.
Do you want to check up above, kind of towards the chains? See if there's anything up there, since that's where he was hiding.
Yeah. Can I look up and kind of around for any sort of magic caches?
Sure, roll a perception check.
All right.
And if it is not in range, Valk still has her wings up and could fly Demir up if need be.
That is a 13.
You don't really see
Perception.
anything.
I don't think there's anything up there. Last question, sorry, and then I promise I will stop. Looking down at the like kind of steam pipe nonsense, about how far away is it?
About 100 feet.
Okay. This is stupid. Can I cast Wall of Ice, which has 120 range? And I want to just like jagged line through some pipes and see if I can basically break them.
Okay. I'll tell you what, roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
And remind me how big the wall of ice is, how long?
So the wall of ice is you create a wall of ice, radius of 10 feet, flat, you have 10-foot squares. So
it's not really a wall, it's more like a cube.
yeah, really. I mean, you can
do
it in any sort of shape you want.
Yeah.
Okay, Arcana.
That can just go wherever.
Yeah. That is 12 Arcana.
12. Okay. And how many hit points does the ice have?
30 hit points per 10-foot section.
Okay.
It is vulnerable to fire damage.
Yep. Okay. That's not what I said, but thank you, Google. How many hit points did you say?
30 per 10 square.
Okay. You start to cast it, and almost instantly it starts melting. It's not doing much, and it very quickly joins the rest of the boiling water. It's very hot in here. For those of you with curly hair, it's starting to get really frizzy.
Demir is just full afro at this point. Like, yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. She'll pull back and just. I don't think there's anything really we can do in here.
It was
Beyond
worth a
our
shot.
ken. It was worth it.
And then Valk
All
just
right.
kind of, with a wing, kind of ushers her back through the door.
All right. Bring you guys back then.
It was a bust, but it was worth a shot.
The rain is still kind of just running around the room, scratching at the pipes a little on this wall and this wall.
Well, I vote we dismantle the door and remove the Shadowcaster from down here and begin the work of dismantling the workshop.
Sounds like a plan. Who would like to do the honors?
Valk cracks her fingers, draws her new longsword, and I would like to use a smite on the door.
Okay, roll to hit.
Let's see. Does an 18 hit a door?
18 hits the door. As soon as it hits out of the pipes along the wall, out comes one of the repairmen.
Do
roll
I have
damage,
to?
though.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I am using one of my big smites because, damage is good. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and more 5 plus the base damage. That would be 8. 14 points of magical slashing and 20 points of radiant damage.
For a total of
I said it was 14 and then 20, so 34.
Okay. Yeah, you pretty thoroughly destroyed the door. The repairman comes by and he's working on fixing it.
Aaron grabs the repairman.
You have a new
Okay.
pet.
I'd like you to well, hold on. I have to pull up the fucking stats for this thing now. I'm over happy.
Very. Kind of start a fucking grapple.
I already
Cool,
gave you a brain. What more do you want? A brain and a kobold. Give me a fucking second.
I'm sorry. Are we kidnapping a working robot or one of the repair spiders?
One of the repair spiders.
I don't know what we're gonna do with that, but all right.
Let's see.
It'll repair you.
Maybe it will repair you, huh?
Yeah, with its welding
fun.
torch. Okay.
I would hope that I don't
Fuck,
need
where
to
is
be
this thing?
repaired.
Okay,
in the
here
way
we go.
that repairs.
So Aaron, when you pick it up, it starts to try to shock you with its welding. So let me crit roll for this. Okay. 24 hits, I assume.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right, let's see. Need some D4s for this. Okay. So you take 2 piercing damage and 3 lightning damage as it shocks you when you pick it up.
Nice. He'll probably put it down.
Okay. You put it down, it goes back to fixing the door.
Stop that.
Still
How
fixing the door.
many of those do you think there are?
Probably a good few, if Maxson was expecting lots of damage over time.
And I
Enough to
hunt
Yeah,
the
they seem to be
repair
in the-
spider.
Okay, roll to hit.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
This time the spider's going to the moon!
Hunt the man. Hunt the man. Alright.
He's just doing a job. You guys are so mean.
Yeah, well, we don't want it to do its job, so it sucks to fucking suck, doesn't it? That just counts as an unarmed strike, right? Just kicking
Yeah.
the bitch.
Yep.
Cool. 18.
That definitely hits. Roll damage.
Sick. Hang on. Fucking Christ. D&D Beyond, please load. I'm lagging.
All good.
Something is lagging.
Such is life when you are playing D&D digitally.
4.
4 damage. Okay. He's still alive. He's going to do the same thing that did to Aaron. So that's a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
You take 3 piercing damage
Sick.
and 4 lightning damage.
Cool. She's gonna go, ow, and kick it again.
Roll to hit.
30-20.
Okay. Yeah. Are you guys all just watching this happen, by the way?
Just
I was gonna do something with the Shadow Maker, assuming you're done with it, but I'm gonna wait for Mama's shenanigans to resolve first.
once again, it's 4 damage.
Okay. You're adding all your modifiers and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. 12 to hit.
No.
Okay. Your turn.
I kick it again. Nat 20.
Roll damage.
Ooh. 13 because of the crit.
Okay. It's still alive. Gonna shock you again. Guess who got a nat 20?
Oh my god. It's the crit
Look at that.
round.
I
Let's see if I can roll above a 1 for the piercing damage this time. Oh, wow. So 7 piercing damage and 2 lightning damage. Take that.
wow. I kick it again.
Would you like some help
At
over
this point,
there?
she's just every time she's kicking it, she's just going fucking die. Nat 20 again. I wish I was joking. Hang on. Look, fuck. Look at it.
Okay.
9. Hang on.
9?
Yeah, 9 damage.
Yeah, it's dead. It only had 6 hit points left.
Okay,
Yeah,
but these
sorry,
things are
how
like
would you do it?
surprisingly beefy.
Yeah. So you walked up to this thing and kick it to death while it's trying to do its job.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Try and get workers' comp when you're dead, asshole.
Wow. Rude.
I'm the CEO of CEO now. No, stop trying to get on the counter and eat raw chicken.
Okay. So now that Mama's kicked the repair unit to death, what are the rest of you doing?
Hawk was going to attempt to explode the Shadowmaker if we're done with that.
Okay.
Are we done with that?
Shouldn't we dismantle it? If we are dismantling it, dismantle it upstairs so it's separate from
Yeah.
the bits of the door.
Fair
In
enough.
case if somebody comes back through the ruins that we're going to make of upstairs.
Right. Let's take that up then.
Okay.
Afterwards, I can make my arrows explode. So
Okay. So you take the Shadowmaker. What the fuck? Okay. Anyway, you take the Shadowmaker back up to the factory floor and into the room with all the magical rocks. Please arrange yourself. Lish, you're not a kitty cat anymore. I'll bring man Lish back from the abyss.
That just ain't right.
Arrange yourselves and the Shadowmaker, hold on, which I'm making sure is brought over properly.
We need to do it away from the magic rocks.
That is a good point.
Probably we should maybe do it in this room over here with the pouring trays, or over here.
There are stairs.
Can't we haul it up some stairs?
Do you want
Can
to
we
make the
put it-
strength check for that?
Can we
we
put
could
it
just
in the trash chute? Down the
We
trash chute.
Oh yeah, we can roll it over down the hallway towards the trash.
the actual explosion that I imbue the arrows with isn't too large, so it should be able to fit down
The
there. and not
cannon
cause
is
problems.
magic. It's got magic shit in it. It could explode magically and go
Fair.
big boom.
Let's just
we-
shove it as far down that chute as we can then.
or we
Okay.
could put a hole in the wall and shove it outside the building.
I would be amazed if we're able to even do
I
that,
feel
honestly.
like that's a lot of work when we can just explode it in here.
Who knows? Maybe it'll create a hole for us.
Besides, we want to destroy the area anyway.
Yeah.
Does Mama want to
Sure.
get any remains from the Room of Doom to take back home to bury?
If she can find any trinkets, she'll take those back to the town, but otherwise, like trying to take like bodies or like even just parts of each and trying to account for everybody is going to be a nigh impossible task.
Yeah. So I will say there's all this crap in the way that's blocking this door, so you'd have to crawl through on the conveyor belt. If you're comfy with that. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't move her. I'm moving her. Fuck you. I want to do the spelunking.
Okay.
Did we ever do an identify on these magic rocks? I forget if we did. I think I just did a detect magic on them.
No identify, just detect.
Okay, while you guys are messing around with the cannon, Lisha's gonna do a identify on a piece of this rock.
All right. Firstly, Mama, if you wouldn't mind rolling an investigation check.
We're fucking 12. 2 seconds.
You're not really finding anything. There's really not much in here. I mean, nothing that you would want to take or sort through.
Sorry, the cats are being bastards. Could you repeat
Okay.
that?
You can't really find anything in here. Nothing that you would be able to take anyway.
Okay. Well, she's really fucking bummed about that actually, and she's gonna kind of do one of those like, all right, and then kind of go on back through the bitch and kind of crawl back out and hop off the belt and be like, there's nothing. There's nothing.
All right. Lish, you take the 10 minutes to cast Identify on the stones, and you get no answers. There's some sort of block.
What kind of, can I get a sense of what kind of block?
Means whatever this is, probably slightly more powerful than your average Identify spell.
Is there even anything higher than an identify spell? Just good old fashioned knowing what it is ahead of time. That's how you
pretty
do
much.
this
Wizard hubris.
I will tell you that sometimes very rare or powerful materials can't be identified through an Identify spell. They would require something else, such as legend lore.
Legend lore. What the hell is legend lore?
Fucking
Is that
spell. Look it up,
a
nerd.
spell? Where is, I feel like we've been saying this a lot, but where is Levy when you need her?
I don't think she has that spell, but
You
I
could
know.
just call her and
We
be like,
already
hey
used our
bitch, we
scribe
need
for
some
the day.
research.
Didn't we use our scry for the day already?
Yes.
I used my talking scry for the day. Yeah.
Because you
I did-
scried on Levy.
That's
Yeah.
why.
And
I
didn't
did-
ask her questions.
No,
I
you
was
guys got
catching
caught
her
up on the
up.
hot gossip.
Yeah.
this is even newer, hotter gossip.
I did gather samples of the stone, I believe. Like I think I picked them up. They're in my inventory. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
you picked up a couple of smaller pieces.
But we didn't identify it at the time, so now we don't. We know we don't know what it is.
We know we can't know what it is yet.
yeah, I'm just like, I'm going to gather up as many of them as I can fit into the bag
Okay.
of holding. Like I don't want any obviously nothing that wouldn't fit, but I'm just picking up every stone that can fit in Lish's bag of
Yeah,
holding and throwing them in.
Lisha's thinking like I don't think we should leave any of this here to be found by somebody else.
How do we get it out?
I mean, how big are these chunks, Avery? Are they boulder sized or?
Judging from their size on the map,
Yes.
yeah, a good few of those are like larger than our
Like if you
tokens.
compare that to the average Demir.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we had Mama and Vulcan and Aaron break them into like ball-sized chunks that could fit into the bag of holding, do you think we could probably fit?
Do we know if it's safe
Most of
to
it-
mine?
I mean,
it
I
was
don't know.
literally
Weight
being
limit
mined
on
by
the
the
bag of
robot.
holding?
Could we possibly just seal
I
off
don't
this
know.
area somehow? Like, just wreck the fucking place to make it look like there's nothing worthwhile to look in
These
here for? Because
hold
I
on.
don't
are
know if we
potentially
can hold all of
very
this.
these are potentially very powerful materials for anybody to just stumble across, and they could be useful or worth something.
I mean, it could be a temporary fix. We could seal it off as best we can, and you guys can have your. Oh my god! I almost slipped into Levy's voice for a second. Hang on, she's too powerful.
You cannot contain her.
She's too fucking powerful. And then 1 second, Kelly, what the fuck? What the fuck, bro?
My bag of holding can hold up to 500 pounds. How
I have a
much does
question.
the average boulder weigh?
A lot.
We could seal
I
it
have a
off. You
question.
can have your magic buddies figure out what it is. Oh God. And how to dispose of it. And
Welcome to
then
my world.
Since when did Mama know polymorph
You could tell
or wild
me
shape?
how to take care of it, and I'll take care of it because I don't want this touching my town ever again.
Question.
Ever again.
Question.
And quick thing about the boulders before Max, you hop on, is
Yeah.
a 1 foot boulder can weigh 80 to 100 pounds. A 2 foot boulder could be 300, 450 pounds. So in theory, we could take about 2 feet, 3 feet worth of boulder.
Reminder that each square is 5 foot squared. So that's like a fraction of what they've got here. Are these rocks the same as the cores of the robots that Hawk was trying to break into explosives? I know.
They seem to be similar to the core of the magic wielding one that kept counterspelling you guys.
Dick.
It did the necromancy stuff.
So
And I think evocation. I can't remember what all he did.
So this seems to be a source of magic for one of them at least. They don't seem to be the same. So they don't seem to be the same as the cores of the soldiers that were ready to explode. Okay. So that means that these rocks probably aren't volatile, at least not in the way that the
You don't know.
basic units were.
You didn't try to take that other one apart to see if it was going to explode. And you also have not set fire to these rocks.
Valk raises her hand and goes, I have another stupid idea.
There's very few things. Such stupid ideas are very hard to come by.
We could roll it into either onto the elevator or down the elevator shaft, at which point it's 15 minutes underground.
Mhm.
The stuff that we can't take with us.
True. We could also see if it's possible to deactivate that lift somehow.
We
Yeah,
put
that'd be
the
a good
shit
idea.
down the thing, down 15, whatever down, and then we break the fucking lift.
Deal.
Mhm.
Sounds
Sound good to everybody?
So I'll have to be right back.
All right.
At least then, if you guys have time or resources to figure out how to get rid of, like, deal with it, it'll at least be put away fairly well. And then
If only anyone had a spell like mold earth or shape stone or something.
Wait a second. I'm a cleric. Do I have access to that shit?
Oh, shape stone? To do what with it? To break it down?
Or hide it in the floor?
I have. Let me look at my stone stuff. I have spells for
Different kind of
rocks.
stoning than he's used to, I imagine.
Let's see. I have up to third.
I have earth tremor. I have other shit. Earth bind. Nope, not that one. Erupting earth. Yeah, well, choose a point you can see on the ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on that point. I mean, that could mulch it into the ground a little bit, I guess. I have meld into stone, but that doesn't work for putting stone into stone. That works for putting people into stone.
So either we get it outside of the warehouse and deal with it outside of the warehouse, or we send it down the elevator shaft and have it be a problem for later. It sounds like. Does anybody else have any other better ideas?
We could put it in the trash pile and bury it under the bodies. Hide it. The rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much good it will do to even destroy the factory if there are enough repair robots. Might be back in a few months.
Well,
Well,
maybe we need to hunt them down too.
I also assume Mama is gonna want to bring her town out here to process evidence.
That is true.
if they want to come out, they will. And I will personally oversee any efforts to put this place behind us and see it inoperable.
Truly, we could just turn over the fate of the factory to you and your town, Mama.
Okay, so I do have a spell. I'd have to rest in order to get it. But if I rest, take Wall of Stone, and then cast it for its full extent of 10 minutes, I can build build 10 10-foot by 10-foot panels around the stones and effectively seal them off from other people. That is an option.
Actually, that would be a really good way to seal the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
Send them down the shaft, seal
Break.
the elevator shaft, and then the town can take care of the factory itself.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be a good option.
Think that sounds secure enough.
Then let's send the elevator down without anyone on it, and then just roll rocks into the shaft.
Sounds lovely.
Then we could come back for the rocks if we needed.
Yep.
Okay, what time of day is it, DM?
At this point, it's like late morning, early afternoon.
Well, then we have the entire day to ourselves to clean up this mess. And then tomorrow we can seal it off. Any objections? Comments, questions, concerns?
No, let's do it.
See, when I'm teaching, I say questions, comments, concerns are interpretive dances.
So I
Demir.
guess we're still gonna explode the cannon, right? We're still blowing that up.
That would be after we deal with the stone, because
Okay.
we can't get it out of this room, but we don't want to blow it up with the magic rocks.
Yeah. When we were watching, when we kind of peeked into the room when there still was the robots working in this magic rock room, there was like the caster one. The caster one was like lifting the rocks and moving them, but there was one that was breaking the rocks into pieces, right?
Yep.
Did they seem to have any kind of like protective thing over it? Were the rocks like sparking or off-gassing any magic when they were broken? Okay, so
Nope.
we can probably break these without concern of them blowing up. So I guess we'll just kind of have the rough and tumble start making these into smaller chunks.
Okay.
So get our 300 pounds of magic stone and send the rest down the shaft.
Yeah, we could almost even take 400 pounds up because I don't think what I've got in my bag of holding is that heavy. Let me look at what I've got in here.
Well,
I don't have like weights on this stuff. It says I have 10 pounds of stuff, which probably isn't very accurate, but we can probably get 400 pounds of rock into this thing and not be a problem.
Yeah, I will say that's probably fine, but I would also recommend you remember that your bag of holding is full.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the moment that we get to a place where we can safely get some of this rock out, that's what Lish wants to do.
Okay.
Perhaps Demir's sexy tiefling dude can identify it.
Oh,
I
the blacksmith?
Well, he is a master of craft. He may have encountered this before.
Well, and certainly the various academies would be probably interested in it.
And we can contact Levy tomorrow.
What
Yeah.
did you just call my town's blacksmith?
Huh?
Val just kind of turns slowly towards Mama and just goes, talk to that one, and points at Demir, and then proceeds to just turn back around and like start rolling a boulder towards the elevator shaft.
Nobody's in trouble. I just thought it was funny, and I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. Going to have to tell him that one.
He was very attractive. What can I say?
And he's good at what he does.
Very good.
Things I don't need to know about people I have to see every day. Thank you.
All right. So for the sake of time, we'll say you got a bunch of rocks in your bag now, and rolled the rest of them down an elevator shaft.
Val
Hell
enjoyed the sound of it crashing down the elevator shaft. Should we put the robots down there too?
That's a good
Bad
idea.
idea.
Yeah, that's true. We should put the robots at the bottom and then crunch them with the rock.
That's an even
All right.
better
So
idea.
you take Hawk and throw him.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Hawk,
Hawk,
check this out for us.
Throw them in the garbage.
What do we do with a drunken robot?
All right, so I'll delete these guys. Not much I can do about the rocks, but
It's all good.
there we go. You get the picture. Delete that too. All right. So, what do you do?
Well, we're breaking up rocks. We're crunching robots. We're filling up the shaft with magic rocks. And then we're gonna
All
take
right.
the cannon somewhere and let somebody blow it up.
Okay. So you dump all your problems down the hole.
We take our problems and put them somewhere else.
At least for now.
What do you do with the cannon? With a shadow maker?
We
think
could
we-
also put it down the shaft.
That's true, but also, is there a way to disable it before we put it down the shaft also? To just double make sure nobody can fish it back out and resuscitate it.
It's not a bad plan.
I mean, we could have crushed it with all of those rocks.
I mean, could we say that we put it at the bottom of the shaft with the robots and then crushed it with the rocks?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want.
Let's just
and
do
then the
that.
worst thing it does is explode a bunch of rocks.
And then we make them easier to take out later because they're bite-sized.
We should actually probably dismantle the cannon up here, then throw it down.
Yeah.
Okay. So dismantling it will require a bit more effort. This would probably be an Arcana check or a Dexterity check.
Do a dex check. Real good, actually.
Well, neither of those is Valk.
Could do a real good dex check over here. Don't
I'd also like you guys to position yourselves around the Shadow Maker.
I vote everyone clears the
Wherever you
room
are.
of the Shadow Maker, and then I can use guidance before the dex check.
Sounds good. I haven't rolled the die yet, so we're good.
Demir, do you have any other bonuses left?
Oh, wait, yeah, I think I do. Hold on.
Buff me the fuck up.
Buff them up.
Yeah. You get a bardic inspiration, baby.
Thank
Demir
you.
is
Thank you.
Demir goes over to Mama and is just like, you got this.
Thanks.
Valk's just like, may the gods
then
guide
run.
your hands. Have a D4 on the house. Oh, and Val clears the room as well.
Cool. Hawk, get out of the room.
Hawk, you live
Hawk's
there
not
now.
here.
Ah.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck. It looks
Hawk-
like the DM has to move Hawk. There we go. Everybody out.
Crane machine.
All right. And I roll the d4 with my d20 and add what it is. Yes? That's how this works?
Plus
Okay.
whatever the bardic inspiration is.
Okay, cool.
So you roll 1d20, 1d4, and 1d6.
And a d6. Okay. Total of 24.
24. Okay. So you feel like you do a good job at removing the cannon from the base where the wheels are.
Okay, cool. Is that all there is, or do I need to make another check?
Depends. Do you think you're willing to drag it over to the elevator shaft without wheels?
Fuck it, we ball.
Real good.
Doesn't Demir have shatter?
I
Might as
do.
well- Might as well cast one of those on it before we shove it down the hole of problems.
I'm gonna.
I mean,
I'm gonna get
how-
the fuck out of there.
How far down is the elevator shaft?
Pretty far.
15 minutes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it took you 15 minutes to go down.
That is true. I might cast shatter on it as it's going down so that it doesn't, explode in our
Well,
faces.
first of all, I need someone to roll a strength check to push it over.
That's my job.
because
Teamwork,
the wheels
teamwork.
were just taken off.
And I'll give myself a guidance since that's not against the rules,
Oh wait,
Right.
Mama can help.
which is advantage, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. How's a natural 20?
Yeah, that'll do.
So 21. Wait, no, 25 because strength.
All right, you are able to drag it over to the hole just fine. Demir.
As it's going down the hole, like once it is out of our once it is 10 feet away from us, I am casting Shatter.
Okay, so that would probably require you to be right by the shaft so that you can time it properly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what, roll the damage for that.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. I rolled really good, guys. Okay, that's 28. Hold on. Sorry, I'm having math problems. 33 points.
Sorry, how dare you not math instantly? You're an embarrassment to this company.
Yeah, 33 points of damage.
Okay, great. I would like Demir, Valk, and Mama to each make a Constitution saving throw.
Woo! 2, so 3.
Demir.
6.
Okay. Mama.
A con?
Con save.
Okay. Seven.
Okay. So all three of you are blinded for 1 minute. As light just fills the entire building, and the rest of you see this too, but you're not right on top of it, so it's just really bright for a moment. It's like there's a white light going off right in your face. Yeah, and you three, since you're standing right there, you're blinded for 1 minute.
Woo!
It's just too bright. Like there's like flashing in front of your eyes, and you're disoriented, and also standing right at the edge of a cliff.
Yeah. Mama's gonna tip back and just sit on her ass. She's just gonna.
Falk yells back, anyone with the gift of sight still, could you maybe help us get away from the ledge?
Demir is absolutely.
Well, Hawk rushes over and sees the three stooges sort of just blindly stumbling about. And he's like, oh.
Very carefully not stumbling.
Very, like, just rooted to the spot. Like, she knows she's at the edge of the cliff, but she doesn't know where it is anymore.
Let's start with you two. Mama, stay put. And he just, like, grabs Demir's shoulder, grabs Valkyria's shoulder, and just, like, gently leads you two away from the edge of the elevator shaft.
Thank you, Hawk.
Thank you, Hawk.
And
Of
Mama
course.
Follow the sound of shuffling and follow backwards, just like on her butt, just scooting.
All right.
Cool.
That works too.
She'll
Maybe you two
follow.
should also take a seat while your eyes readjust.
Yes, sir. Valk salutes, very much not in the right direction, and then pops a squat.
I mean, I assume that she could hear the direction of his voice, but this is a funny mental image.
Well, also there's the thing where she's used to having 50 bajillion eyes, and
That
so
is
it's
fair,
very
actually.
much sight-based.
That's actually super fair. Good catch.
After about a minute, your guys' vision returns.
And my perception is kind of shit.
I
Just-
did just sit back down from dinner. What did we do about the rocks, if anything?
Oh, it all
Down
went
the
down the
elevator
hole of
shaft.
problems.
Oh, you just shoved it down the shaft with the thingy thing. Okay.
Nope.
And the robots.
Well, if there was an explosion down there, I don't think anything's coming back up.
Great. That was the point.
And I am glad to be rid of that legacy that Maxson nearly started.
I'm gonna have to ask the smithy for glasses. What the fuck?
I don't think glasses would work for me.
You would need many.
You haven't seen her eyes.
Maybe lots and lots
Never
and lots
mind.
of contacts.
What's a contact? What's a contact, future boy?
Is that another one of your? Is that another one of your?
Are we just
you?
going to canonize the contacts being invented 5 years in the future?
Yes.
Oh, you probably don't have those yet. Never mind.
Mama just kind of looks over at Malcolm's just like, what the fuck was that interaction?
She is getting up and she's walking. She wants out now. She's done. She's going.
I cannot blame her.
She's gonna go to the entrance to the factory and she's gonna wait for everybody to be done.
She wants to leave. She wants to leave
gonna-
the trauma
Okay,
factory.
do you stay inside or outside?
She's staying inside.
Okay.
She's just by the door. She's sitting up against the wall. She's
Roll a perception check for me real quick.
Oh fuck. Oh god. Okay. Perception. Okay. Not the worst. 17.
Okay.
Bitch. What does that mean? I'm so scared.
What does what mean?
I'm afeared. Anyways,
Uh-oh.
she's gonna go. She's had it.
I'm gonna have Hawk search the factory floor for any like maintenance tools that could be used to just start disassembling conveyor belts and whatnot.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Alrighty.
What sort of maintenance tools are you looking for?
Wrenches. Probably not torches. Anything that could really be used to like cut or unscrew bolts. Sever belts, remove bearings, etc. That's the goal here. That is a 9.
9. You're able to find a wrench, couple hammers.
This could do. He'll try and use those in combination with his Tinker Tools and Tinker Tool proficiency to let's start the conveyor over here. Start removing a couple of the rolly things. I don't know.
Okay.
Where did Hawk go? I don't see him on the map.
He's over.
He's
here.
blending into the background with his like 7 stealth score.
Whatever, I'm just gonna say I kind of follow behind Hawk and like use my sacred flame cantrip and be just like, I can be a blowtorch. Point me in the right direction.
I will let you know. If you could find a way to disable those forges without spilling molten metal everywhere, that'd be nice. Maybe get Lish to help you out with that.
Can we not just explode them all?
We could, but do we have the explosives to do so?
Yes.
Isn't Mama and her town gonna do the bulk of the dismantling? We're just filling our evening, basically. Isn't that the plan?
Oh, so that's the plan. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you weren't here for that.
No, I was.
I mean, I imagine what we've just done has taken a couple hours to just posit everything into the shaft.
Mhm.
Capital T, capital S.
Yeah, you guys took some time, put a bunch of stuff in the shaft, blew up the Shadow Maker, as far as you know, and now you're just vibing.
Right, so we want to destroy all this is what you want. I mean, it's all cooling down.
Fair enough. I shouldn't waste extra effort on something that's going to solve itself if some other people don't come around and solve it for us.
I think in general, what they want to get at in here is going to be the bodies. So we can destroy everything else as long as they can still reach the trash.
Mm.
Sounds like a job for Sniv.
If you want
In
to
all
take
honesty, I
it
just want to
very
make sure that this
slowly.
doesn't work ever again.
Let's see what I have today.
Mama, are you leaning right up against the door?
No, she's more next to it. It just
Okay.
would have looked like she was fucking clipping through it if I had put her like right here.
That's fair. The door slowly starts to open.
She does the bomb arm thing, you know, when the car lurches. She does that with the door. She closes that
Okay.
shit.
Okay. So you slam the door closed. And actually, let's make this a contested strength check.
I don't like it. Fuck. 12.
Okay. So you start to try and push the door closed. But whoever is pushing the door seems stronger than you. And I don't actually have a token for this man because I didn't think you'd lure him over here. But in stepping in through the door, you see a handsome half-orc man.
Who the fuck is this?
He's got the green skin. He has a dark kind of tousled hair with little bit of gray, and he's got some stubble on his face, and he kind of just looks at you, says, "Who the fuck are you?"
Who the fuck are you? And also, what are you doing here?
Saw the fucking explosion, bright light everywhere. What the
Yeah,
fuck are
usually
you
people don't
people
walk
doing?
towards
What is this
explosions.
place? Could you repeat what you said, please, Felix?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, usually people don't walk towards explosions, and she's actually gonna stand up and do the body, like the fucking bouncer, like broaden deal of like
He
she's
is standing right up there with you, similar posture. And looking at him, you can see that he is he's wearing studded leather armor, and he's got a shield on one side and a long sword on the other.
Do we hear this?
I think we're a little far away.
You're kind of far away. Are you just? And you're starting to disassemble shit. So
Fair.
I am but a jungle gym. Okay.
guess I'll see if I can find a token for
Cats are
him.
in full bastard mode. Jesus Christ. Okay. She's just gonna cross her arms. Like, well, what business do you have here other than walking towards explosions?
I'm on a job. What the fuck are you doing in here? Are you blowing shit up in here?
Rightfully so. Yeah. Yes. Are you aware of what's been going on here? What's been happening to the people who work here?
What
Spare
the fuck? No. I've
parts.
never been here in my entire fucking life.
Great. Then maybe you should turn around and go back from whence you came, because none of this is good news for anybody. Never has been, never will be. Thank you.
Roll a persuasion or intimidation check.
Intimidation, yeah. Yes. Son of a fucking bitch! That's only 9. I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean, he is unimpressed by you.
Look, we're blowing shit up for a reason. And it's a damn good one. It's to protect people like you, who don't know what the fuck is in here, from what the fuck is in here.
Look, I honestly don't give a shit what you're doing in here. Try not to blow things up, I guess.
I'm pretty sure we're done with the whole explosions thing, at least for now. If you hear another one, it's just us cleaning up the mess. Okay? Carry on.
What kind of mess?
Whatever the fantasy equivalent to human rights violations is, like. And anybody who worked here was turned into spare parts for automatons. There, you have it. So if you're on a job in the area, you probably just shouldn't be.
Well, tell you what, you mind your own, we'll mind ours. We don't have to talk. You're dealing with shit in here, fine. We're gonna be over there.
Over where?
He kind of gestures back towards him. Like back,
just out of the factory.
Out of the factory.
We?
Great. We'll be done here and fucking off soon enough.
Good.
Have a lovely day.
I'm gonna be right outside. And he starts walking away.
Is there like a chair or like a desk or something she can shove up against the fucking door? Just to be a bitch.
I mean, there are chairs you can shove up against the door if you want.
Yep, there's a chair. It's just up against the door now. Okay. She jams it. Just fuck you. And stay out.
Okay.
Don't fucking deal with you.
All right.
She's gonna sit on the said chair.
The rest of you.
Aaron's gonna go look for if there are any like maintenance holes he might be able to get at the maintenance spots via.
Roll an investigation check.
Alrighty. That's not terrible. 15.
15. Okay. You search the whole area and you're feeling pretty confident about the thoroughness of your search, but you don't see any more repair units up here.
All right.
Anyone else?
Alicia's looking at rocks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think really Demir can do anything since she has used her shatter. So Yeah, I think Demir's just probably like sticking close to Lish the whole time.
We should probably check on Sniv.
Should we? Do we have to? Just let him be free.
Where
Valk
is the
would like to check on Sniv.
and that reminds me, Demir is going to look around and see if she can find the brain.
Yeah, I mean, the brain's been kind of just hanging out.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it seems like generally anxious, but you get the point that's kind of its state of being, much like me.
Mood.
Mood.
Okay, Valk, you get over back towards the entrance and see Mama sitting on a chair with her back to the door.
Valk just kind of gestures like, the fuck?
Some asshole barged in here and asked why we were blowing shit up and then got mad at me for thinking this place sucks.
Who? Where?
I'm sorry, what asshole?
Another half orc. He's just outside the fucking door.
Lish is like, poke head out.
He alluded to a we and that we shouldn't get in the way. I'm at the end of my rope.
And you didn't think to share with the rest of the class?
I don't know. He said he was on a job in the area. I don't fucking know. I told him he probably shouldn't because it sucks here.
You're not wrong, but I would like to talk to El Half Orc Man.
Sure. And she stands up and she like takes the fucking back of the chair and whips it around and like scoots it back and then plops herself back down in the chair right next to the door where it's gonna swing open so she can watch. Make sure that he doesn't try to like get in here or anything.
So I will note that Half Orc Man is standing like a few yards away from the entrance. He's like somewhere between he's between the house and the factory, but a little closer to the north.
I would like to do a vibe check.
All right, roll an insight check.
I got a 14.
What vibes are you looking for? I mean, he's hot, if that's what you're asking.
No, shifty, honest, enemy, not enemy. Vibes.
Okay. He doesn't seem hostile. He seems tough, like he's seen a few fights. Broad shoulders, and as I said before, he's got a long sword and shield on him. And he seems like he's keeping an eye on the factory and something a little bit further away. And if you listen a little, you can hear Sniv's voice, but you can't make out what he's saying.
What is he looking towards? The house or elsewhere?
Elsewhere.
More
north.
Basically, Valk opens the door, sticks her head out, and goes, "Hee-hoo, you haven't to have seen a kobold, have you?"
He kind of looks at you, see you up and down. He's off that way. It points in generally in the direction that he was looking.
Not the house.
Not the house.
At which point, Valk just kind of shuffles quickly. Shit. To wherever he pointed.
Okay. So, what you see, I don't have a map for this because I didn't make one. But what you see, the fence surrounding this compound also encompasses what seems to be something of a scrap heap. You can see a couple of disassembled robot bits that are there just from the distance that you're standing. And you suspect that this is where the one that you'd killed in the house was dragged off to, because you also see on the ground what seems to be a dead clockwork watchman kneeling next to the rubble, close to Sniv, actually, because Sniv is sitting among the scrap. You see a man. He looks mostly human, with darker skin, and maybe just enough to the angles of his features that suggests some elvish ancestry. And he seems to be talking to Sniv. Meanwhile, a woman, a water genasi, is standing near the man. She also has a sword on her person and is just kind of keeping an eye out. And then on the other side of the fence from where they're standing, you can see, well, that the fence was cut open and there's a wagon there.
Do I see anything in the wagon?
Not from the distance you're standing, but the man does look kind of familiar to you.
How familiar are we talking?
Paladin familiar.
You know how when you're dreaming and you see a face in your dream and you think, I recognize that person from somewhere.
Everyone's getting it, but I'm not.
Huh?
At which point, Valk's like hustling over directly towards Sniv.
Sniv kind of breaks away from the conversation, looks at you and waves and calls out, "Here!"
Sorry, what?
He said, "I made a spear."
Good job, Sniv. And who are your friends?
Clearly does not care about their names. Is busy like kind of lifting the spear he made, which you can see seems to be like a metal pole with a rusty scrap of metal tied to the end of it.
Okay, cool. Poison damage enchantment.
Yeah, it doesn't look very sanitary.
At which point, Val kind of hustles up, kind of sidles up next to Sniv, kind of huff for a moment, and goes and gestures to the people and go, "Hello, I am Valkyria Lightbringer, Paladin of the Wild Roses."
The human man sticks his hand out to you. He stood up when he saw you approach and said, "Jamie Martian, pleasure to meet you."
I'm sorry, Jamie. What? Who? What now?
Not important.
No, I didn't catch the last name when you gave it.
Marchand.
Marchand. Jamie Marchand. A little bit younger since the last time I saw him.
A little bit younger than how he looked in the dream, yes. And he says, what brings you folks out this way? Forrest there said that he saw someone inside.
Yeah, we're came to this factory on behest of a couple town members from nearby to investigate some missing people, and
Oh.
unfortunately, we won't be giving them good news.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It comes with the job, but fortunately, we were at least able to somewhat life. Oh, whoops. I'm also looking up something. Give me a moment.
All good.
Okay. When you're casting sending, do you verbalize the message or?
Yes.
Okay.
You,
Val
you
kind of
pull
holds
out the
up.
copper wire and you say it out loud.
Val kind of holds up a finger, unrolls the copper wire, and goes, "Hawk, you want to get to the trash heap ASAP."
I forget. Can he respond to this?
Yes, you have
Reply to
25
the
words.
message.
Okay. That's the entire message.
All right. Jamie says to you, Valk, well, if this is a crime scene of some sort, we'll get what we need and we'll go. We're just going through the pile here. We'll be out of the way in a moment if there's something else going on.
It's been settled at this point in time. The town folk will probably want to come out, but why don't you sit a spell and we can swap adventurer stories.
I was actually just doing that with your interesting companion here. It kind of gestures at Sniv. Holds up the spear again. Make a spear.
Yeah, this is Sniv. We met when I was working a job for the Church of not Tyr. It's the other one. Torm. Thank you. Torm. Doing a job for the Church of Torm, and I've taken him under my wing. A little literally sometimes gesturing at her face.
Fair enough. I'm actually visiting here from Island.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on Island? That's the direction we're heading before we got this job.
Well, it's a lovely space. Many pine forests.
Is Hawk coming?
He's on his way. I'm just giving
All right.
it a little bit more.
Yeah. You head out, Hawk, and you see the half-orc man kind of still standing like a equidistant from the factory to the trash heap, just making sure everything's on the up and up. I will also say, Volk, that the water genasi woman, like, she seems pretty chill. Like, she more relaxed than the half-orc man. Her hair is dark blue and then slowly actually becomes liquid the longer it gets. She has like light blue skin and kind of greenish eyes, and she's been watching you and Sniff, but not in like a super tense hostile way like the half-orc guy was.
After sending the message, Valk would be kind of keeping an eye on the door or on the factory for if Hawk's emerging.
Mm-hmm.
And when she sees Hawk emerge, she kind of looks towards him and does an exaggerated like put on mask gesture.
It's already on.
Well, I didn't know if you had put it back
I was
on
going to say that he put it on as he exited. Not like putting it on the process vaccine, but like he put it on and then exited.
Okay.
Yeah.
At which point, Valk is just basically filling time until Hawk arrives.
All right.
He will.
Is everyone else staying in the factory?
I mean, yeah, no, Demir wants in on this. Like, she is very interested when Hawk starts making a beeline out the door and just kind of looks over at Lish and then follows.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lish has been listening in on what's been going on.
Listening in.
Listening in. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Felix.
TM. Trademark.
Yeah, I don't know.
As people file out, Mama's gonna make sure everybody else gets out safely, and then she's gonna be the last one out because she wants to try and jam the door shut.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Make a strength check to see if you can jam the door shut.
Oh, 11.
Okay. Good enough, you feel?
It's not just turn knob and open, so that's good enough for her.
Yeah.
She'll follow out and kind of give a relatively wide berth, so partly so she can watch over the whole crew, but also she doesn't want to fucking deal with more people right now. She's
All right.
She's had a day.
Cannot blame her in the slightest. All right. Sorry, Jan wanted to intrude before I even wanted to talk. Hawk's sort of just like stepping out. He peers around the corner, like sort of like thinking to himself, like, who on earth could Valkyria be so insistent that I? And then he like sees Jamie, and he's just like, oh. He's sort of like frozen there, probably like gathering his thoughts as the metaphorical like apple loading wheel turns around in his brain.
The spinning wheel of death. Gotcha.
Spinning wheel of death, yeah.
The robot buffers.
Jamie says to you, Valk, are these the rest of your companions?
Everyone's left the warehouse, correct?
I think most people are tailing in after Hawk, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what are you guys doing about the brain?
Oh, Demir, like when it was clear that there were other people, Demir is going to, like, to the brain, like, offer to pick it up and put it in her cloak.
Okay.
Kind of
readily
hiding.
accepts.
Yeah, and she's going to, like, kind of make it look like she's holding, like, a cat or something like that, like some sort of familiar that's just wrapped up in her cloak.
You know, something normal.
Yeah, giving it like, you know, like the way you would if you had an anxious cat with you, like giving it like little scratches and stuff like that.
Okay.
I will
Just put a
definitely roll a
pixie in
deception
there.
check to pretend it's a cat if you want me to.
Anyway, to answer Jamie's question, Valk says, this is the bulk of them. We usually have another, but Levy is on leave at the moment.
Oh, is
On late no.
she all right? Kind of like making a guess, like not sure.
Oh, we recently recovered her cousin from a interesting situation, and they are taking the time to catch up.
Oh, well, that's nice. Family can be important.
At which point, Valk just kind of, yeah. What family?
It's about this time that the rest of you catch up. You see Sniv with his nasty ass spear that he made.
Wonderful.
And you also, of course, see Jamie there. Demir, you recognize him as being a little older than when you scried on him, but still younger than when you saw him in the Plane of Dreams.
But yeah, so Valk is just doing all her, small talk, pretending to be a normal person to the full extent of her ability to fill time until everyone gets out. And then the moment that Jamie mentions family, the facade just goes and everyone arrives.
Hello there.
Hello, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Are you, what are you doing in the prep?
We were passing by and happened to see some interesting looking trinkets, and kind of gestures towards the dead watchman on the ground. Saw this fellow kind of just standing there, and unfortunately when we got too close he tried to stab us.
So you've met a robotic friend.
At that, Valk laughs and pets, or gives Sniv a pat on the head.
Points to the watchman, not Sniv.
Sorry, never mind.
All good. Well, I mean, I'm rather interested in machinery myself, so I couldn't help but take a closer look. Your friend said that this was something of a crime scene, though?
A little bit. It's a complicated situation. A wizard thought that he could make robot men out of real men.
Oh.
May it be a cautionary tale.
You can kind of see him thinking.
You are interested in robotics?
I am, yes.
I might have something to share with you.
Are you an artificer as well?
No. We have just been investigating this. Taking notes, that type of stuff.
See, am I correct in assuming that you come from the city to the north then, from Legacy Quarry?
Hulk's walking up pretty close by now, by the way.
We started out of Legacy Quarry, and we're sent out this way to look for some missing workers.
I will do my best not to contaminate your investigation here then.
Samir is going to look over at Hawk.
We're mostly investigated at this point, but...
This is our friend, Hawk. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Jamie Marchand. Pleasure to meet you.
Jamie Marchand. Meet Hawk. I am Demir.
Pleasure to meet you, Demir.
I'm passingly familiar with the Marchands. I've met one before.
Oh, you've been through Emma Harbor then?
Yes, I have.
Lovely place. I'm planning on returning back there fairly soon now. Once I'm done here.
What are you doing out here? That is an island, isn't it?
Sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
The city you mentioned from Island, right?
Yes. Well, I had heard great things about the things done with craft in Legacy Quarry, and I wished to visit. And I heard of a gentleman down this way who was doing a lot of metal work, and I was interested in seeing what he had. And he kind of looks down at the scraps of robot that Sniv is sitting in. And I have to say, this is quite beyond anything I had imagined.
You don't want to replicate this, at least not exactly.
You really
Oh
don't.
no, I wouldn't dream of that. Your friend there said that making metal out of people, that's horrific.
The townspeople, my people, from Legacy Quarry, to be specific.
We heard the same
I'm
thing
so
as you did.
sorry.
Yeah, we heard the same thing as you did, and I was the most interested in coming down here to figure out what exactly was happening.
And he kind of kneels and like takes a look at some of the scrap, and just kind of looking at it, you can tell that these ones are empty. They don't have any fleshy bits to them, just based on your examinations of them previously. And Jamie kind of picks up like a loose scrap of like an arm and a forearm and a hand. He looks at it and kind of looks it over and says, and anyway, I will be out of the way as soon as possible. If you say that space is dangerous, I'm not much of a fighter, so I won't go anywhere near it.
Shouldn't be dangerous now, but Hawk, can we have an aside for a moment? Just a couple seconds.
Sure. I wanted to talk to them a little bit more, but if you could just stay put for a minute.
You can come right back.
Right. So Officer just shuffles off to the side of Mama then. Is something amiss?
You seem to know him and trust him. Would he be able to help me in my town be able to put all of that mess to bed? Does he have the knowledge, the know-how? Can he be trusted to know what went on in there?
I think he could.
And those of you that are not a part of this aside, you see Jamie pass the metal arm he was looking at to the water genasi, who takes it, kind of looks it over, and then starts moving towards the cart outside.
Demir, while Mama and Hawk are talking, Demir is going to keep talking to Jamie and just, I managed to recover the note of the inventor of these metal men, if that is something that is interesting to you.
That would be fantastic. And you can see like his eyes just light up, and he's really interested and excited about this prospect.
No, I promised the original to a friend, but I certainly make a bargain and let you copy off of them.
That seems fair. Are you interested in gold? I have some.
I think we could be interested in that. I'm sure that there are other things. We can work it out. We don't have to be in a rush or anything. We just finished back there, so.
All right. Well, I think I would be glad
You
to work something out.
Were you headed towards the Legacy Quarry? You could head back with us, grab a drink. We could talk.
I was actually intending to head southward a little bit further, but if you're planning on staying here, if it's safe, we can stay here overnight.
Certainly. I just think you would be very interested in the notes I have been gathering.
I certainly am. We were planning on stopping by Trios briefly. Depends on how quick the winter gets here. We want to get back over the mountains before it gets too dangerous. So we can't delay too long.
Certainly, I can understand the threat, but well, let's talk.
Very well. He looks back to the water genasi who has returned from placing the arm in the back of the cart. Says, Vive, do you and Forrest think that this would be a good spot to camp, or should we try to risk the house? The water genasi thinks for a moment, and she says, well, I don't see why it would be too dangerous to be out here. However, we could also go to the house, potentially. Have you and your companions cleared it yet?
Yeah, we breached and cleared the house.
Would you say that it is safe?
We stayed there last night. Is safe enough?
The thing most likely to bite you is Sniv. Gestures at Sniv.
Is this your son?
No, that's a grown man.
He was saying something earlier about well, never mind. That is fine. If you think that the house is safe, we can definitely stay there overnight. It looks like it might be a little rainy, which I do not mind personally, but it might bother the rest of you.
I'm mostly waterproof, pointing at her wings.
As am I. Would it be safe to say, like, Mama and Hawk head back over at this point? Because she was being really quick. She was just like, trust him, right? Like, she was, she saw him and she's like, you're a robot. Do you trust him with robot knowledge? Like, cool. They'll come back over and she's actually gonna get all businesswoman-like and actually stick her hand up to Jamie and say, whatever you're working on, I wanted to apologize for any possible hostility, especially to and she's gonna point to the other half-orc. It's been a long day. I just found out a lot of my townspeople died in there. I'm very sorry. But if you should need anything from us, especially regarding this, don't hesitate to reach out. My family runs the, what is it called? The Dancing Imp?
The Dancing Imp.
Yes, the Dancing Imp. we run that. And our town's craftsman, smithy, the guy. We got a guy, he's great. Our craftsman is excellent. He'd help you make not this, anything but this.
I really appreciate your forthrightness about this whole situation, and anything I can do to help, I will do my best. And I appreciate you not attacking my bodyguard once he started kicking the door in. He kind of gestures over to the other half orc, who has been making his way closer now and still does not look very happy. But you're getting the impression at this point that that's just his face.
No, I think we just took each other off guard, and I am at the end of my rope.
It's been a long day for the both of us, and we did make quite a noise.
Mama will very awkwardly, like, she's not sure if she's allowed to touch Hawk, but she will gently pat him on the back.
He doesn't react. She's free to do that.
I mean, I mean no offense, but most of you look pretty worse for wear as well. You're kind of like looking over all the scorched marks on your guys' clothes, and Demir's like afro hair, like that's clearly not on purpose. And
Hazard of the occupation.
Maybe a rest would do you all some good.
I'd appreciate that, and I think there's something I should bring up with you while we rest as well.
If it's about the blue sheets, your friend mentioned that already.
Popstar just like looks over at Demir, like,
Demir just smiles.
I can probably offer something a bit better. You could say I'm a little involved in artifice myself.
Are you?
I am indeed. Hawk will pull off a glove to demonstrate.
Oh, did you make that prosthetic yourself? That's very excellent craftsmanship. And he kind of like leans forward a little bit.
No, a friend made it for me, but yeah, he made sure to tell me how to fix it should it ever break. And I've been taking great care of it, though it's obviously not the most polished. It's still like pretty patinaed, because man wears clothes all the time.
It's at this point that the water genasi says to the half orc, Forrest, would you mind taking anything interesting in this pile here and putting it in the cart? He kind of just looks at her, then rolls his eyes and sighs and starts like going through the pile. And Jamie says, well, in that case, we can head back to the house if you're all comfortable with that.
Might be a little torn up. We did leave Sniv alone with the bed for a while. But
I was making a spear.
He holds up a spear again.
Looks like we've got another budding artificer around too.
She told me to make weapons.
Points at Valk.
Valk does her best to look proud despite, being in bird mode.
Well, hopefully you could use your amazing skill for something less destructive in the future. Who knows what you might make?
I made a scorpion on a stick one time.
He just like nods, like, yeah, he certainly did.
All right. So you all head back to the house. Let me grab Jamie's token just so we can remember he exists. Where are you? We'll find it in a minute. But anyway.
Oh yeah, there are bits of the autopsy on the table still.
Oops, better clean that up.
Have we had a short rest by this point?
I don't
No,
think we've
'cause
actually
been
rested
talking.
since the thing. We've been dismantling things and blowing things up the entire time.
Lish has just been sitting and watching you guys throw stuff in a pit, so
Mama, upon entering the house, is gonna go ahead and sit in front of the fireplace and see if maybe she can try and get that going.
Okay.
Oh, Hawk will in fact help her out with that. Once she's got the kindling and all that arranged, he'll offer a light because he does know prestidigitation.
She'll stoke it up, and then she's gonna kind of arrange herself into just she's gonna go meditate about it. It's been a rough day.
Hawk's going to return the gesture that Mama gave him a bit before, just like gently pat her on the back twice.
She'll give him a nod and kind of gesture around her and go, just let me know if you need anything. It's been challenging for you as well.
Of course.
When they get in, Aaron takes out his painting supplies and then just fucking collapses on one of the couches and passes out with them just on the
Right.
floor in front of him. It's been a long day.
Yes, indeed.
Can grab for the water genasi. Trying to find a token for her.
Is her accent my hobby?
It's a little bit my hobby. It's a little closer to Tikwe, though.
Okay. I was picking it up, don't mind me.
I do my best.
I appreciate it. That's incredible.
Use Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
That's more of a consistent accent than I've given Demir, so
But she seems like super chill and super friendly.
Salam alaikum, my friend. You are from the south as well?
It is a pleasure to meet you.
I didn't get your name, I'm sorry.
My name is Viv.
Vive. You can call me Demir.
Pleasure to meet you, Demir.
Pleasure to meet you. Where are you from?
Oh, I
If you
am.
don't mind.
I am from near the river in Tigoi.
Oh, I see.
And where do you hail from?
Kessa.
Tessa. Oh, I was visiting there one time. It was a very beautiful city.
It is. When did you visit?
Oh, it was years ago. I would love to go back sometime.
Yes,
Wow. Just casually listening in.
Mm-hmm.
it is very beautiful. If you go during the spring, it is the best time.
In the springtime. Okay, that is good to know. I'm afraid I do not have much cause to go down to the homeland much these days. But I hope to return at some point, maybe when I have more time for vacation.
Understandable. I haven't been home in a while. Either. Anyway,
Do you miss it?
often.
As
It
do
is
I.
my home. It is my home, but I am here.
As am I. But in the meantime, maybe if there's any wine around this fancy house, we can share a drink in the homeland's honor.
That sounds absolutely lovely.
Once I'm off duty.
Perhaps you should show off your baking demure.
Oh, yes, I could. I do not. I'm not a master of sequin bread, but I can sure figure something out. Anyway, yeah, Demir will just turn towards Hawk and Jamie and just go over here.
So Valk kind of takes a moment and uses her necklace to become more human standard, and then proceeds to chat with Vive while more interesting things is happening in the background.
All right. Jamie just starts kind of looking around the house, like super casually. He's looking at the bookshelves and he's kind of just peeking into each room and seeing what he sees.
You've looked through most of the books already, I think. There wasn't much that you wouldn't expect from a wizard.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Sorry. We looked through most of the books already, I think. There wasn't much you wouldn't expect from a wizard.
I mean, I like to see what people are reading anyway.
Fair enough.
I'll kind of...
He kept his library on him. I've heard of spells that create an extra dimensional pocket that you can put in your wrist.
Really?
Valk, hearing them talk about books, goes, "Oh, I have his journal," and pulls it out of her backpack and hands it to Hawk or whatever.
Oh, thanks.
Jamie does look interested when you pull out the book, but he doesn't say anything about you handing it to Hawk.
It's not too much. I don't think it contains any of his schematics or ideas, only his desperation. We did end up finding him, but he wasn't a man anymore.
Oh. What do you mean by that?
So remember how we said that the automatons were people?
Mm-hmm.
He called them prototypes. In a last-ditch effort to escape sickness, it seems, he turned to turning himself into metal instead of flesh. And as a result, his mortality slipped away just as easily as... Rather, his humanity slipped away just as easily as his mortality.
When looking through the pile outside, I could not help but notice that many of the metal pieces had some sort of weaponry with them. Was that similar for the ones inside as well?
Yes, it was, for the most part, completely full of guards. There were a couple of workers, but from what we could tell, they were constructed in the same manner. Some of them were even rigged to explode. It's a miracle that we didn't... It was rigged. Yes, it was a miracle we didn't detonate any of them. Well, not accidentally, anyway.
Could have been faulty wiring. I wonder, if you would indulge me for a moment. You say you're also interested in artificery and metalcraft.
That's right.
In looking at the creatures there, do you think it is possible to create one without needing to use people?
I think it's absolutely possible. Hawk holds up his prosthetic with heavy quotation marks. Just sort of turns it around. There's no flesh or bone of any kind in this. And it works perfectly fine. It's as if I still had an arm.
Well, you know as well as I that there's a difference between a prosthetic and something that is actually living. I mean, no offense, of course. But
No, you're right, but I think
there are various forms of prosthetic that can be created through enchantment and other such means that will still function as an arm would, or another limb that is still flesh and blood. I wonder. He just kind of trails off and he's thinking.
Well, I think I might know a little more than you might think. Would you mind following me upstairs for a moment?
Sure.
And off they go.
All right.
Is the top bedroom empty? Is anyone in there?
At the moment, I believe.
Hang on.
We will say for the time being that everyone is downstairs doing various things. Eventually Forrest comes back, the other half orc, and he kind of looks around the house skeptically, kind of looks around, and then just kind of leans up against the wall and is doing the super cool guy thing. He leans back and he's keeping an eye. Vive is standing near the table, kind of getting to know you all and chatting a little bit. We can role play that in a moment, but we'll say for the sake of this, Jamie and Hawk, you are the only ones upstairs.
There's no way Forrest wasn't found in the dark corner of the tavern.
Brood.
He just gives me tough. he just gives me start of the campaign brooding tough guy rogue vibes, and I love it. Right. Well, now that Jamie's up here, and the door, they're off together, Hawk will just straight up say, right, well, for starters, I think I have a bit more than just a prosthetic. And he is going to take down the hood, peel back the head cover, and pull off the mask.
Jamie kind of goes quiet and looks you over.
This right here is why I was so interested, because for the longest time I've been afraid of someone determining what I am before I can. And when I heard what was going down here, all the missing workers, all the mass imports of metal, the hints that he might be trying to avoid death by sickness, this Maxson Price person turned abomination. I was afraid that he was going to start defining what it is to be artificial for me. To an extent, I was right. He was selling those soldiers all across the continent.
That is deeply disturbing.
Even more so for me.
That's what I meant. Are you okay?
Frankly, I have been much better, and I've been much better before, and not even facing massive monsters as compared to feelings that I've been going through in the past day or two. It is frankly horrifying to see one of your worst fears made a reality.
I'm truly sorry that you've had to endure this.
I appreciate your empathy more than I could put into words. But there is something to be gained from this, at least. You know now that creating something that can move around is possible. Something that, like an automaton, yes, but something that can think and feel, and I would be honored to help you replicate what I am.
I personally would be honored if I had the chance to. Apologize for the crude choice of words here, but to inspect you. I do not wish to cross any boundaries, however, nor do I wish to take you away from your companions.
Well,
I fear that we lack the time.
Well, there's something I've been meaning to bring up with them as of recent, and I think you might be able to help with it. For a small part, I'm capable of magic, but I don't have the greatest grasp on it. Ever since I started adventuring with the Wild Roses, I've been using archery skills that I picked up in the forest. But it's not satisfactory. Every time I've loosed an arrow, I felt wanting. Every time I've seen one of them go down in a fight, I've despaired that I couldn't do anything to at least delay it, if not help them outright. But today, for the first time, I felt as if I could do something. I want to take some time to see if I can't gain some more control over this magic and figure out what else I could do. And I was wondering if you could help me with that, just as I am more than willing to help you achieve your dreams.
I definitely would be open to the idea of collaboration between yourself and I. Might have to reroute our planning. Maybe I need access to my workshop back in Emerald Harbor.
I have a couple of tools that with me that you could borrow until we can get there. I don't have much of a workshop myself at home. I only ever expected to just be repairing myself, but I do at least have the basics with me that you can use while we travel.
That could work. I think the quickest way back from where we are now would be to follow the river. And he's like clearly thinking aloud to himself, and that is a habit well and are very familiar with. But he's talking about crossing the mountains closer to the river that leads through to Emerald Harbor, closer to the Nalaveri forest, and taking a slightly different direction than everyone else who's planning on going back to Legacy Quarry.
I'll make sure to bring it up with them. I wonder if they'd miss me, but I think they would understand this is something I have to do.
Well, I'm sure they would. I just based on what you've said about how they were all willing to travel down here, and he kind of gestures vaguely at the house around, to help you figure things out. I'm sure they will miss you, but that doesn't mean you can't return to them, right?
Of course not, no. I do plan on returning, but like you, I'm not really sure. Like you, I'm sure I don't really know how long this personal journey of self-discovery is going to take.
Well, that's the way life is, I suppose.
I suppose you're right.
Would you be prepared to set off tomorrow?
I don't have much that I need to take with me, so I could leave tonight if we had to.
And I mean this with the utmost kindness, but whatever it was that Maxson Price, you said, did.
That's right.
It seems fiery, so you could probably do with the rest. No offense.
No, it's no offense taken. You're perfectly right. To be clear, he did turn himself into a dragon, or at least a likeness.
A dragon?
A dragon. There was lots of fire involved, but was seemed to be lit oil rather than anything else.
That must have been a marvel of engineering.
I suppose I would have marveled at it too if it wasn't still the man who decided to condemn so many to a false death for his own personal gain, and B, was not then trying to kill us.
Well, do you have ways of keeping in contact with your companions?
I personally don't, but they do, and I'll make sure that arrangements are met.
Okay. Well, in that case, I quite look forward to this partnership, and he kind of holds his hand out for you to shake.
Huck sort of like looks down, and he feels like just the slightest twinge of disbelief as he reaches out and shakes his father's hand.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to accomplish with this conversation?
I think he's mostly cleared everything off his chest. If there's any terms that need to be set, they can discuss it later.
All right.
Maybe directly telling Jamie that he's his son wouldn't go over very well. So
Jamie is very, he's very concerned about things being fair. And he seems to find it very fair. The verbal assistance for assistance contract that you have come up with.
Nice.
The rest of you, Vive is, as I said, trying to get you to know you all. She seems very friendly. She is she's chatting a bit. Is there anything anyone would like to say to her in particular?
Well,
Or to Forrest?
Valk in particular has been kind of asking Vive about her homeland and whatnot, since she's curious about it. One, because information about Demir, the person that she is oathed to, and two, personal reasons.
All right. So, Vive tells you, I come from the country of Tigwe. It is a bit south of where your friend is from. There is a large jungle in the river. Going through it and a couple of different cities. I live with a small group of people near the river itself, where we fish, and we would sometimes find things that somehow got to the jungle from the ruins of a Jazeera, which is a little to the west.
Fascinating. I've never been as far south as your homeland, or Demir's for that matter. Most of my travels have been in the cold north.
Well, you would like it in Tigwe. It is very hot. She kind of tosses her hair over her shoulder.
Valk poorly mimics it. But at which point Valk kind of goes into a rambly story about one of her adventures of being a badass and a tough solo adventure.
Roll just a general persuasion check for me.
Oh, of that makes sense. That would be a 12.
She seems genuinely interested in what you're having to say.
Yay. Valk is doing interpersonal things and not being absolutely awful at it.
I didn't say that. But she is giving you her attention.
Sorry, I'm having trouble thinking about how my little dork would exactly respond. Sorry, my brain has completely and utterly died.
So is Valk's, probably, I imagine.
Pretty much.
Valk having useless lesbian moments. Pretty woman, pay attention to me.
Water lady dies. But yeah, Valk kind of has a moment of gay panic and then is just like, tell me a little bit about your adventures. How did you end up working with Forrest and Jamie?
Well, I took a ship. I ended up passing through Marhaba, and took a ship up to Ember Iridian Harbor. And I wanted to look for work. And I found that I am quite talented at being a bodyguard. And so when one of the merchants asked for assistance, I put my bid in.
At which point, Valk goes into, oh, a safe topic to talk about. Capacity to be a bodyguard. At which point, kind of begins inquiring about martial versus magical aspects to it, and what kind of asking Vive about her particular talents in bodyguarding.
She tells you that she is pretty good with a sword and a trident when she can get one. And she basically just does what's asked. And being a water genasi, she has limited control over water, which can get her out of pickle every now and then.
I know what having innate magic's like. My innate healing helped me with my early adventuring before I got all my paladin and cleric training, and traditionally used a hammer, but too have picked up a sword as of late.
Perhaps we could cross the blades sometime.
I would be honored to have a duel with you.
Are there any other conversations that would like to be had?
Demir, while she's just kind of listening in, she is going to be like starting to make some dough and all that stuff. She's trying to do more of like a southern style dough, so it's a little wetter, and that type of stuff. So she's making more of a like more of a border bread sort of style.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As best she can with like the ingredients she has. But, yeah.
All right.
And then when Hawk does come down in Sylvan, she is going to message him like, "Did you tell him?"
Is this a verbal or a mental response? Mental.
I think mental, yeah.
Yeah, like, Avery like briefly did like that, so I assume mental. Not everything, but he knows what I am. You didn't try to sell him those
cut in. The way that I have it is sending is verbal, message is nonverbal.
Okay. This is message or sending?
Message.
Okay. Not everything. Why'd you try to give him the schematics, the notes?
Without what?
Why'd you try to give him the schematics or notes?
I think it would be interesting for him.
A bit inopportune. Mama pulled me aside to ask if he could be trusted.
Demir just kind of smiles and continues working on the dough.
He won't say anything more than that. At least Demir now knows of the comic irony of what she tried to do.
Whatever did she try to do?
She knows what she tried to do. Anyway, when Hawk does come back down the stairs with Jamie, he hasn't bothered masking back up. So all that breast is bare for the world to see.
Forrest and Vive both look at you and they look surprised, but then they see that Jamie isn't surprised, and so they're not doing anything about it.
I think Lish is in the kitchen with Demir with his head kind of on his arm on the counter, just watching her work. And he's like got his finger in some of the flour on the counter, and he's kind of making shapes and notes in it as he goes. Just watching.
What are you thinking of, my love?
War. Just a little bit of planning.
Thinking about how to get home.
What we're going to do once we get home.
Who do you know? Who would help?
It's hard to say.
Well, who would be interested?
Just kind of makes a sighing noise a little bit, like, It is hard to say who in the Winter Court would be loyal enough to not fight back, let alone help.
You only want allies inside your own court? No relation to the other court?
You think I should go ask Titania for help?
I don't know. Are they more likely to smell blood in the water, or do they want the Queen of Winter removed?
I imagine myself walking into the heart of summer, a fallen man, and languishing at the High Queen's feet and begging her for assistance. And I do not think I could stand up again after that.
Okay.
If there are allies to be found, finding them in the court is the easiest way to not have extraneous favors owed afterwards. Whatever may happen.
We know that at least Dante is out there. Perhaps there are others? There was the big bear man. What was his name?
Oh, Avery,
Evan, sure.
don't make me remember the bear man's name right now off the top of my head. I can't do it. Don't make me get the spreadsheet out.
All I know is that
said.
he's Russian.
Oh man, I remember it.
What is his name? Mr. Bear. We'll just call
The
him
bear man.
His name's
I
Bear
wasn't-
Bearson.
You don't actually have
The bear.
names.
You guys are having a conversation. Let me look it up.
Oh yeah, his name's
I
Bear
know.
Bearson, the Baird.
Bear Bearson.
Barry
Bear
Bearson.
Billy McBearman.
Bear.
Our boy, the bear.
You kid, but I actually had a character named Bjorn Bjornsson.
Not the character from the
You like a
Golden
kraken claw.
Yorick?
You like a kraken claw.
Illig, yeah. Okay. Yes, that one.
Or do you think it is better we go alone? Just the group. Smaller group could be easier to get in.
Lish kind of does the same hum. And he kind of muses on that for a moment. And he says, this is what I'm debating. War or something a bit smaller. Hidier.
I don't think war is possible.
It depends on once we find a path to the Feywild, if, as you said, we could find allies in the Arctic North.
To raise an army is not unnoticeable. I was thinking it would be easier to have friends on the inside to help us in.
There are ways that I know to get in outside of going through the front gates.
It would be a death wish to go through the front gate. To just march up and demand that Fiola step aside? That's ridiculous.
Lish does not make eye contact.
Was that your plan? On. Samir is throwing some flour at him.
Lish is just like, Lish shakes his head. He's like, no, of course not. That would be, I see now, very foolish.
Doesn't he have the highest wisdom score by far of us, by the way? Just.
Yeah. Samir's just like.
Look. Look.
Have you only considered war from the outside?
Well, of course I have not. I have thought about many great things in regards to this.
And
Look,
your
it's very
plan was to just march in there and Fiola give you her throne.
No. Look, it's very ego feeding to just walk in and fucking dominate and crush people instantly, okay?
One does not simply walk into the Winter Court.
But if you're the Winter Court's daddy, then what?
So you're saying his subjects refer to him as Daddy Winter.
Father Christmas?
Santa.
Nah, Santa's an entire other being. Demir fucked his wife.
He's the court jester.
Lish just is like, no, of course not. I would go in there and I would throw her off of that throne. Do not give me that look as if you had any better plan.
I didn't have a formulated plan, but I wasn't
Neither
expecting...
did I. We don't even have a route to get across the plains currently.
Yes, but... Yeah. I think we should have an idea before we cross over.
Lish gestures to his flower markings. Aaron went to sleep, otherwise I would have stolen his notebook. Perhaps I should wake him up. He kind of stands up and like brushes the flour off of his hands.
Erwin, we'll figure it out.
He just nods.
We just have to think strategic. You know the winter better than I.
It has become increasingly more complicated than I initially imagined.
Obviously. We'll figure it out.
He walks around the counter to you and kind of gives you a kiss and says, "Let me think on it some." He's gonna go dig through Aaron's stuff.
Aaron, I'd like you to roll a perception check with disadvantage.
All right.
He's not being quiet about it.
Well, that's I'm actually good at perception. That's a 10.
I'll say that's enough. You wake up to find Lish digging through your stuff. Don't worry, folks.
Yeah.
I see the clock. We're gonna wrap up soon.
Aaron wakes up he's taking a couch nap. You know how it is. There's drool coming off of him. He's got little red creases baked into his skin. His hair's askance. And he just goes, "What? Is Maxson back?"
Darling, no. he pulls out Aaron's notebook. Is your notebook in your bag?
Yeah, it's just on the floor in front of him.
Oh, okay. So he picks it up and just is there like a pen?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna pick it up and he's gonna take the pen out and he's gonna be like, "I need some paper. Can I?"
Oh, of course. Anytime.
Okay, so he's gonna just sit down on the floor in front of the couch and go to an empty page and just kind of start brain dumping.
All right.
Just fucking a mess of just notes and diagrams.
The pixies here and there will come in and start trying to make their own suggestions, which just adds another layer of chaos to the page.
They have a different color, so it's layers of color on top of each other.
Liz just out here listen here.
So Aaron can look over his shoulder if he wants.
Yeah. He's watching Lish, and eventually at some point you realize he's fallen asleep with his eyes open, and you're not quite sure when that happened.
Ow! What? Sleep with his eyes open.
I love that Aaron is such a fucking freak.
Has he always done
This
that?
party's full of them, and I love it.
I love him. He's so good.
Has he always done that?
Has he? Answer the question, Dom.
You know what? No, but his eyes do glow slightly when he's asleep, and so sometimes there'll just be a little like nightlight going off.
I love Aaron so much.
When he's asleep, his eyes glow through his eyelids.
Yeah.
Why don't yours?
It's like when you see your cat in the dark and the fucking eyeballs are reflecting at you.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like when your eyes move during REM sleep. Instead, his glow.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
It's perfectly
Dub,
fine. It's
you-
perfectly normal.
You
All
did
right.
something
You know, just ASMR
horrifying.
things.
Well, on that horrifying note, I think that's a good spot to call it for the evening.
There you go.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you next time.
Thanks for facilitating whatever the fuck Aaron is.
Yeah, this is